Hi there, this is David with Realty One Group Results. I'm out here today at 1059 Mitchell Mill Road, North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. And what you're looking at here is a home that is for sale. It is an old mill that was converted into a home. And in just a minute, the owner is going to take me and a number of people on a tour. He's going to go through all the systems, including the functioning water wheel that you see here on the end, which does produce electricity for the home. He's going to go over the solar system. I don't know if you can see the solar system on the right side of the roof there. He is going to help us understand the geothermal heating and cooling system, as well as the hot water heater system and the 342 gallon per minute aquifer that's on the property. So stay tuned, come along and enjoy this tour with me, won't you? I promised you we'd have the opportunity to talk to the owner of this beautiful home. And welcome, this is Rick. Rick, thank you so much for taking the time.
You're welcome, David.
To just talk with us a little bit about this piece of property. You know, I guess take us back when you first started here, when you first started working on this, and just so that the viewers understand, when you came here, this was a mill, is that right?
This was a mill that was in a state of disrepair. It hadn't been operating as a mill until 1965. So when we bought it in 1985, it was all overgrown. You couldn't hardly see the creek here. And imagine, if you will, just this big 4-story structure kind of coming up out of the creek bank. The side porch and all of that wasn't existing. We added all of that, and there was no flume, just the wheel. And all of the accoutrements were all rotted and broken down. You could see through the bottom of the house because there was no underpinning, because all the power from the water wheel came in on this side of the structure. So we just started one side at a time. Unfortunately, the original siding was too far gone, so we skinned each side of the building and put in new sheathing and windows and siding on each side, and we went all the way around. And because this is 40-some feet tall here, plus another 16 feet down to the water, so we had to put this porch on here in order to get our pump jacks to put the siding on this west wall.
Gotcha.
And so we just went all the way around it and put in yellow pine siding because that's what was on it.
And when we get up there, we'll get to see this porch. It is magnificent, and we're gonna head up there in a minute. But so you started with a shell, is that right, Rick? And you put the floors in, you put the stairs in, you put I guess the windows were already there, most of them, right?
Well, no, and I've got a picture of the original structure that we bought in 1985. It didn't look too much like what you see here, other than we didn't add anything to the actual house structure at that time. And then later we added this side porch, but there was a front porch on the structure and only 2 windows on the front there. But we wanted a historical looking building, so I went and got colonial windows, 9/9 windows, and put them in. And since the building faces south, I wanted a lot of passive solar gain on the front of the house. And so the house does very well in the winter season, even though it's a large house.
Well, you've done a lot of work here, Rick.
Well,
You have done an incredible amount of work. I've already been in the house, and we're going to go in the house in just a minute, but I could just say it is a marvel looking at it and understanding what's in it before we go inside. And we're going to go do that now. So can we do that?
sure, let's do it.
Let's go.
Okay?
You said this was the original driveway here, right?
That's correct. This came in off the road here. They raised the road up when they put this new bridge in several years back. And this is how you got to the mill. And of course, the road was dirt when we first moved up here, and thank God it's been paved now. But because it's a post and beam building, and the floors were already existing, but there were no interior walls because it was a manufacturing building. And they had all kinds of drive trains and belts, pulleys, and various pieces of equipment that were in the building. But some of the key pieces were already missing because remember, it hadn't operated as a mill for 20 years when we bought it. So people had come in and stole things, and the top stone, grinding stone was missing, but the bottom stone is still in the kitchen floor.
Wow. So just so you know, guys, I wouldn't call it a hot day. Pretty warm though, wouldn't you say, Rick?
Yeah, it's 84 degrees outside.
Okay, what is it in here?
It's 72 in here, and this is geothermal cooling. And what that is, it's a mechanical system. It's a water source heat pump, and it uses the well water, which is about 60 degrees, to cool the building through a Freon cycle. So you get very efficient cooling even on real hot days because you're using 60-degree well water. And so it doesn't use a whole lot of water, but what water it does use, it just goes into the creek. But you can imagine there were no interior walls, and so we put these walls in the stairway in to facilitate the floor plan. And this is how the building first looked when we bought it in 1985.
Wow, incredible. I'm getting some reflections off that. I'll probably have to take that out, but I can photograph it and insert it here.
And then the building, the one above it, is a picture from 1978. So that's probably the closest, and that's the west-facing side that now has the...
I think the first time I came in here, I saw that mechanism, let's call it a mechanism, on the ceiling, and I thought, what in the world is that?
Yeah, that's
what is that, Rick?
That's one of the main drive trains, and these are all flat belt pulleys, and so the power originates at the wheel and then was brought up the inside wall of the house, and probably most likely pulled off that first pulley over there.
Oh, I see.
And then so it drove all of the other pieces of equipment, one being a giant flour sifter that was on this floor. This opening that you see here originally was the floor. The floor was contiguous all the way across, but they had left the roof unattended, and consequently it caused this floor to rot out. So we just decided to take it out because of the headspace reduction by this drivetrain, and we definitely didn't want to take the drivetrain out. I mean, that's one of the centered characters of the building. So it made a nice, clear story here.
Yeah.
Stationary, and then the power came up through the hole in the center and turned the top stone, and then you notice it's raised up off the main
I was
floor.
going to ask about
And the
that.
reason it's raised up, any mill that you see, and I've got pictures of old mills, they always brought the stone above the floor so you'd have room to get your bag, your defeated, yeah. And so the top stone turned, and you had several pieces of equipment. There was an elevator here. Let me get the book and I can show you what it looked like. But there was an elevator there that would lift the corn on when I first drilled, and it shows the initial water pressure right after he put this stuff on, and then it built up overnight, and now it sits around 20 psi. But even at 10 or so, it'll still shoot a good stream if I were to open it. And we came in and we structurally enhanced the building with double sheets of 3/4 plywood lapped over on each corner, so the corners were lapped up, because it's a tall building, and even though it's post and beam and you have a lot of good structure, you needed this extra support here. And then here shows the structure here, and we came in and added additional material. And of course it had a tin roof, but originally the roof was wood shake, because you can see the lath up there underneath, where lath is like little strips of metal where you tack the shingles on. Some of that material is still in place underneath. And then we put a modern roof on in about 2006, I think, put the steel roof. And here's my help. There's my dad. So we just, we worked at it. We worked at it for several years before I could convince my sweet wife to come up and bring the kids. But so this is some of and then here we are putting the side deck on with the steel underneath, and we used the water wheel we used this water wheel as a winch, and we got in the wheel and just walked the wheel, and we lifted all our timbers up to the telephone poles and all that to actually build it.
Well, that's smart.
Yeah, it was there, so. Each one of those will put out 2.4 kilowatts, so I've got 4.8 kilowatt output there that'll feed to a big battery bank on the front porch. So the wheel, the main shaft of the wheel runs out and through the gearbox underneath there. And run the water. almost 30 feet. And I'll tell you a story about these.
So this is the.
One of my nieces did the penciling up there above it with pencil.
Is this the place? Is this here?
No, that's Laurelville in Centerville, North Carolina.
Made the PTO out into a 90-degree turn. It went in the same kind of build.
Big line flat belt. They park right down here. And they just ring a big long flat belt to right in underneath the house. It'll vary from 17 up to 20, and it just, I know gravitational force has some bearing on it, because we just won't be using any water, or we won't be doing anything different, and it'll go up. And then we'll be doing stuff, and it'll stay up, and we won't be doing anything, and it'll go down. So there's other factors that are causing it to flare, whatever. But this is the wood portion, and again, I can fill my hot tub up right here, and so so I can run water in my hot tub to get it up, And this is the other water source heat pump that runs off the well. And this is water that's not been filtered. I've got a softener here, and because the water's just a little bit hard,
Okay.
and it has a little bit of iron in it,
Right.
but you can taste it a little bit. I never found it objectionable, but some people did, so I said, well, I'll get a softener. I know enough about water treatment that you can use a softener and it'll take some of the water out, take some of the iron out and soften the water.
So you
So-
guys,